Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to TED Talks Ball. I've got Dave McNiner with me, McNuevo, McNew, however you like to say it. Welcome, David, and how are you doing on this fine hump day?
I'm doing good. It is. That's exactly it. It's hump day. Weekend's fast approaching. I'm looking forward to it at this point. Starting to get hot. Not like there though. I think you guys got a heat wave going on.
Yeah, it's like 90. It was 90 yesterday and 90 today.
Oh, well, it's 87. That's kind of normal for June.
But it's probably drier in Utah than here, though. Here we have more humidity, so.
Yeah, that's exactly it. The shade, it's nice and cool. It's not all humid and warm. It's not bad. I mean, it'll still hit 100 and something midsummer though. It still gets pretty hot. So
and when I say humidity, I'm sure there'll be somebody down in the South who's just like, oh, you don't know nothing.
You don't know humidity.
So you go to Florida or Mississippi, Alabama, down the Gulf Coast there. I mean, there's definitely a lot more humid places, but I just think California, the Bay Area, is a little more humid than Utah, where it gets, it's pretty a lot of high altitude desert out there in Utah, basically, right? So what should we talk about today? I mean, obviously we had the Christian McCaffrey extension, big news.
Mm-hmm.
Give me your thoughts on CMC being extended 2 more years, which means 4
Till
more
he's
years.
31. 31. With the usage and the mileage, is he actually going to last that long? Right. At this point, if Kyle eases up or makes him come out of the game, I guess that was the story. He doesn't want to come out of the game, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if Kyle makes him come out of the game and substitutes other running backs in so he's not getting so beat up, I could totally see him going until he's 31. But at this rate, I don't know if he's going to last till he's 31.
Yeah, no. Kyle likes to overuse him. He likes to be overused. It's a recipe for disaster, especially in a tough position like running back. That's why I keep hoping someone like Isaac Guerendo or JP Mason or maybe Cody Schrader can step up and help lighten the load. I would say Elijah Mitchell, but I just don't trust him to stay healthy. I really hope he's gone before the season begins.
I don't trust him to stay healthy, but you know how Kyle is. He has his guys, and when he trusts a guy, he'll keep him around no matter how much we don't like it.
One thing I do trust Mitchell about is the guy just never fumbles. So I do trust that. But it just, who cares if you're injured all the time? I don't know. For me, that's a bigger deal.
That's true. It's like CMC, for example, right? CMC is like, he's great, but he does fumble. Like he fumbled in the Super Bowl. He's not fumble proof, yet. Yeah, people, punch the ball out. Stuff happens. Defenders make good plays. It's the NFL, right? And at this point, you have JP Mason, and they're like, "Oh, this guy can't block. Coach him up. What are you waiting for?" It's not necessarily his fault that he can't block. Well, why aren't the coaches working with him, right?
Yeah.
Now we have Cody Schrader. A lot of people are big on him, and he's. I've watched some tape. He's pretty good. He's not necessarily that fast. He's not going to blind you with his speed, right? But I honestly could see him being a practice squad guy. I don't know if he's going to make the team. Might even be JP Mason's year to get cut. But at the same time, Niners might just trade Elijah Mitchell to, say, the Houston Texans or, maybe the Jets or the Heat or, someone that's familiar with him. Well, semi-familiar, because Robert Saleh is not. But someone that's familiar with him more than likely, right? And runs the same system. But at this point, availability is an ability, right? Why did we get rid of James Richard Garoppolo? Because, he's made it through one season with us, right?
Pretty much.
And Elijah Mitchell, he even got hurt that rookie season when he came in for Mostert and was looking good. So, last year he hardly hit the field. So, I mean, like I said, availability is an ability, and I'm not necessarily an Elijah Mitchell fan. We have CMC. We got Garendo. That guy's got some speed, man. 6'2", 220, and he runs a 4.3, 340. That's insane for a running back. So, and he also returns kicks, though. That's something for Purcell and Cowing, right? All of them return punts and kicks. So instead of, us signing an NFL veteran, we get 3 in the draft, right?
I don't want to see Cowing doing punt return, though. I don't think he has good enough hands. Purcell has the better hands of the two, was my understanding. And so I'd like to see him on punt and Cowing on kick. But also Danny Gray might be able to crack the roster through special teams. We'll see. But I think he's on his way out. More than like a Gray and Ronnie Bell, I think, may be gone when we do roster cuts at the end of August.
Well, we normally keep 6 receivers?
5 or 6, yeah.
5 or 6 depending on the season. I could see us keeping 6 this year.
I think it's usually 5, right? Last year it was obviously Debo, Ayuk, Jennings, Ray, and it was kind of a revolving door.
Ronnie Bell,
yeah. But that was it.
The end of the roster was Denny Gray came back at one point, but
then Ronnie Bell got demoted.
I mean, it was just like when Denny Gray came back, that was wide receiver 6 right there, and then they did call up Conley a few times,
especially the playoffs. He was great.
Yeah. So, the wide receiver room should get interesting.
Absolutely.
We got our practice squad guys, our designated guys like Tay Martin. I'm honestly looking at Tariq Owens like he could be replacing Tay Martin on the practice squad, just depends on how he plays, right? But, we have Ayuk, we have Debo, we have Jennings, we have Purcell, we have Cowing. That's 5, So I look at it like we're looking to keep 6. And it's going to be a fight between Ronnie Bell, Danny Gray, Trent Taylor. I don't think any of the other guys have much of a chance.
No, Trent Taylor won't make it.
I don't
Trent
see,
Taylor,
I don't.
He's a camp
just
buddy.
because he's a Kyle guy, that's why I said his name.
Buddy. No, he's washed. I'm gonna say it right now. There's no way Trent Taylor makes this team. No way.
I really hope not.
No way. No, Conley, I really liked. I liked him in camp. I was shocked he didn't make the 53, and he proved me right in the playoffs where I feel like he should have been on the 53 the whole time. He was better than Ronnie Bell. Ronnie Bell's young, but whatever. All that potential doesn't mean anything when push comes to shove in meaningful games.
And you draft 2 wide receivers in the next draft, right?
So, CMC fumbled 3 times. I remember the Cowboys. I want to say the Browns and the Super Bowl, if I'm off the top of my head.
I know it was the Browns in the Super Bowl. I don't remember the other one.
I remember the Cowboys for sure. We were about to score a TD, and he fumbled, and I thought, oh, my God, we're in trouble. Then we just smoked them. I think it was also the Browns. Got Terror Dome in the house. What's up, Hugh? How are you, buddy? Good to see you. Been a while. He always likes to give me grief about doubting Brock Purdy, but I gave Brock his props during the season when he improved, and he sure did. So hopefully we can let that old little tiff spat, whatever you want to call it, go. But
Brock Purdy now has an off season. Remember last off season he was recovering from surgery, right?
Yeah, and he has an off season. And I said so, and people were like, "Oh no, he's good," and I'm like, "No, man." He was throwing pick sixes, incompletes. Every long throw he made in camp was short or long. There was not one good throw deep that he made. There were some catches, but it was like acrobatic catches for wide receivers to contort to slow down or catch up to the balls he threw. And but he came along really nicely. He got better in preseason, better at the early season, and even better mid to late season. So hats off to young Brock Purdy. That's why I got his jersey there.
Yeah. He's been working out. You remember that one Photoshop picture or whatever where he's all like buff.
Yeah. Kenny says that's Trent Taylor, that is here to push the younglings. I agree 100%. That's it. He's here to teach Persall how to be Trent Taylor on steroids. That's my take on it. He's more of a coach than a player, in my opinion. So love to get your thoughts on Mr. Logan Thomas, the tight end. What do you think?
So I believe he had over 500 yards receiving last year. He's had a few good seasons. He's a solid tight end too. And that just shows that how much faith do we have in Cameron Latou and, Braden Willis, right?
None.
We kept 4 tight ends last year. I was honestly thinking we're going to keep 3 this year and just keep, take the red shirt off those 2. But now Logan Thomas is definitely going to be on the 53.
Yeah, he's tight end too, until proven otherwise.
And I mean, with our history of 3rd round picks, typically they don't end up being like last year, 2023, we traded up, we got Jair Brown. Then we took a kicker. Then we took Cameron Latou, right? So here we are. Might be getting cut come cut down day.
Yeah, I mean, I think because we invested a 3rd round pick in him, I think he'll get one more season at least. But I wouldn't be shocked if he can't learn to catch. What good is he? No good. Real quick, James Denal had a good comment here. So I was wrong. Well, sort of. CMC did fumble against the Cowboys, but it wasn't a lost fumble. So the lost fumbles for CMC
was the Vikings.
The Vikings, yeah, I kind of forgot about that one. And that was, Purdy also had his concussion there in that Vikings game. Those were 2 big reasons why we lost that game. That and where Mooney Ward went for the interception and it turned into a touchdown to Jordan Addison. Those were probably the 3 biggest plays in my game-turning plays of that Vikings game for sure. Not to mention the fact that Kirk Cousins just carved us up in a very unusual Monday night football fashion because he's usually cheeks on Monday night. Let's hope we paid for a keep hold of the damn ball incentive. I hope so too. Latou back. Yeah, I mean, I guess that Kyle said he wasn't back to practice last we knew. I'm assuming he's at mandatory minicamp. But
that's actually an excellent question. Is he back to practice?
I haven't been following it closely.
Using one of the many devices I have. We're going to see.
I've been busy launching my bike channel, so let me just plug that real quick. Check out Teddy Talks Bikes. You guys are into biking, e-biking. Do some pump track stuff with my son, trail riding. Also, I'm going to go into some tutorials on how to build and repair e-bikes. And then I'm going to also try and form a business out of building and repairing bikes and e-bikes because I'm a bike certified mechanic. And I built, this is my 4th e-bike that I've built. I built 2 big fat bikes, powerful fat bikes, and then a pretty fast commuter. And those were all hub drives. And now I've built a really powerful mid drive that will be, it's just about finished and should be a pretty epic trail bike when I'm finished with it. To go up steep technical climbs and down steep technical stuff, chunky, rocky logs, jumps, all that kind of stuff. We got a little Sponge in the house. Philly Special Cards. Yo, what's up, Spongy? Welcome. Everybody's just saying
Well,
hi.
believe it or not, the guy that helped me put my mom's swamp cooler in, this is Utah. It's a dry environment, so swamp coolers work great, right?
Yeah.
He shows up on an e-bike. I'm looking at it like, that's pretty neat. Like how fast it go? He said it goes like 25 miles an hour. I didn't see the make or model or anything.
Which is plenty, I mean, honestly, if you're going, mine will go like 30, 35. Pretty easily. I might go even faster with the speed gear on it. But when you're going that fast, you just suck your battery down really fast anyway. So even if your bike can go that fast, 9 times out of 10, you don't ride it like that all the time because you'd have really short rides compared to if you pedal a little more and slow it down a little bit, you can like double, triple your range by doing it that way.
Okay.
Kenny says cover zeros while we lost a minute. I mean, yeah, it was a bad play call by Wilkes, but knowing that it's cover zero, Mooney Ward might want to have just batted that ball down, which he very clearly could have. Instead, he went for the interception, and then they went to the ground. And as they went to the ground, Jordan Addison wrestled it away from him and ran away and scored a TD. So I think that's a big reason, Kenny. But, I mean, Mooney Ward misplayed it too. He should have at least batted it away instead of going for the pick. Because, remember, there was like no time left in the quarter. So it's not like even if you pick it, we didn't really have time to go on a big drive anyway. So I fault Mooney Ward some there too. There we go. Big Drake Greenlaw fan. I didn't know that. That's cool. Because those who don't know, Little Spongy's an Eagles fan. And the Eagles, they look like a tough team this year, no doubt about it. They seem to have solved a lot of their secondary issues with, well, you never know with the draft, but they drafted arguably the best corner in the draft and then got another great one too. The one out of Iowa, Cooper DeJean, right? They got both those cats, I think. I got Crazy Juice in the house. Welcome, Crazy Juice. Thanks for being here. What's up is we're better now that you're here, so thanks for being here. I'm only just getting back to the 49ers echo chamber, getting up to date the latest, fully intending ignoring European Championship while I do it. There you go. Well, we're not an echo chamber, James. You know that we don't care what anybody else is saying, and we're going to speak our mind. And, I was pretty down on the Niners after losing the Super Bowl. I was really down after we didn't get a tackle and didn't get a tight end in the draft. But now getting Logan Thomas who can block and catch, really happy about that. And I'm feeling a little bit better about McKivitz if he's got, Feliciano and either Kittle or Logan Thomas, flanking him. Tackle's best friend is a good guard and a good tight end. And I feel like we got Feliciano now. We got Pooney. Probably will end up at guard too. So making me feel a little bit better about McKivitz, who I have my doubts on. And Aaron brought up a good point. Well, that maybe all this money we're freeing up is for a tackle. Because he said maybe it's for Ayuk, but we save money by extending Ayuk this season. Like we're at 32 mil. If we extend Ayuk, we could be up close to 40 mil in cap space. So to me, that could go for a tackle somehow, but I don't know who's available. I don't think there's any free agents available. Maybe it'd be a trade. I don't know. But anywho, maybe it's somebody who needs a contract and therefore would be tradable at a lesser price. Oh, he doesn't like Dre Greenlaw.
That's how we got Kurt Williams, right?
So that was a joke because the whole Dre Greenlaw, Dom.
Yeah.
Philly Dom, Fat Dom, whatever his name is.
Big Dom?
Big Dom. Big Dum Dom.
So Spongy told me that he's the team psychiatrist. I don't know if you knew this. And but he's a big feller. I looked up his stats like last Wednesday. We were, on the big panel show I do later.
I thought he was security for Sirianni.
He's head of security for the Philadelphia Eagles, and he's the team psychiatrist.
Shrink too?
Yes.
The brawl and shrink? I've never even heard of such a thing. That's like,
So, but
like,
yeah,
isn't that like
I was
hot
actually
fire
looking at,
or like an oxymoron?
dude, you want to,
Tough
he's a
shrink?
big dude though. He's like 6'5", literally 402. He's a big guy.
402. Wow.
Yes, he's a big feller.
Yeah.
You know,
That's not healthy carrying all that weight, Dom. Not good. Not good. Kenny says Eagles look like old Indian food. In a diaper. Yeah, I know. McKivitz, especially for his price. I mean, I think he was playing for like 2 mil, 2.5 mil, something ridiculously low. So
yeah. Now he allowed 13 sacks.
From
3 of
a
those
dog.
were against TJ Watt, folks. You know, one of the best pass rushers in the league. But all those sacks were against speed rushers, right?
Yeah.
So he has a problem with speed rushers. And then we got Burford, who played tackle in college, playing right guard. He's actually more athletic than McKivitz. So I'm kind of feeling like we should flip him.
There you go. James Durnall is with me. He says Fat Dom is head of security, not psych. Dude couldn't spell the damn alphabet. That's good. I'm with you, James. I don't see him being a psychiatrist at all. He just seems like a meathead to me.
Well, think about this. You know, after he got suspended, or they played us, folks. What do you think? The Eagles season went straight downhill. It nosedived.
The Eagles were.
So
we
did we destroy the Eagles, or did we send their psychiatrist home for the season and it really affected
their will to live?
Let me know.
We stole their life force and pooped it out. Anyway, all right. What about Jawan Jennings extension? Give me your thoughts on that.
I think it's a solid signing. You saw what he did in the Super Bowl, right? He stepped up. I honestly think if we won, he probably if he didn't get MVP, I was gonna make a rant video. But he's great at blocking. You know, he'll get in the defensive backs or whoever he's blocking's head, and he'll live there rent free all game. You know, and you know when it comes to being a team player, he's a dog. You know, you need guys like him. So he's a really good number 3 wide receiver, and I do like the signing. But then, you know, I'm looking at like we're about to extend. We just extended CMC, you know. Now we're looking at a big contract extension for Ayuk. It's like you can't pay everybody, right?
That's right.
Because if you pay everybody, who else do you have on the team? So at this point, you know, I look at it like if they sign Ayuk long term, then that's Debo is going to be with us for one more year type of thing.
I've been saying that for a while. I think he's gone next June.
I honestly thought we'd be trading him after June 1st this year until John Lynch assured him that he's going to be on the team for the season.
Yeah, I agree. And then, you know, Aaron was saying he thinks Kittle might be gone soon. And, you know, Kittle's only under contract the next 2 seasons. So I could see him being gone after 2025 if we don't extend him.
Kittle's 31. You know, his playing style, he'll probably play till he's 33 to 34, which 33 is when his contract expires, right?
Yeah.
And that's when he's going to go to WWE. Let's be honest here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, while he's still got some life in him, right?
I think that's makes some sense. Seems like
that gives us
priming himself for that.
2 years to find his
31 now. He'll be 32 in 2025, and 33. He'll be a free agent in 2026 at age 33. So
2 years to find his replacement. We don't know what Braden Willis and Cameron Latou are going to do yet.
Whole lot of nothing.
it's hard to say. You know, a lot of people are like,
I see
Braden
Braden
Willis
Willis.
can't block, but
I see him replacing Juice more than replacing Kittle.
that's where I see Braden Willis being too. You know, kind of more, he's a decent pass catcher. At least I watched his college tape. Right, he's a decent pass catcher, and he actually can block. Although a lot of people say he can't block. You know, I saw him blocking dudes.
Jordan Willis was lighting it up in camp last year. He led at least one practice in catches, and another one I think he led in targets. He was really good catching the ball. He just doesn't block well yet, and that can be learned for sure.
Oh, for sure. It's up to our coaches to coach him up. You know, maybe he can work with Chris Forrester, which I don't know. I don't know how great of a coach Chris Forrester is. You know, I mean, he's done well with what he's got, right? Because he has a second round pick. He's got Trent Williams. He's got a second round pick in Aaron Banks. Then he has a kind of a cast off that was a backup in the league for many years, Jake Brindle at center. He's got Feliciano, who's played all over the line, right? And Burford. And you know, Burford, he got what was Burford, a fourth round pick?
Yep.
Then he got you're also got McKivitz, who was a fifth.
Yep, out of West Virginia. Same year we drafted Juwan Jennings in the 7th. And then in the 6th, it was Charlie Warner that year.
Yep. And, you know, he had Mike McGlinchey, who he took 9th overall, but I don't know. I don't think that was a good pick. You know, this is kind of back when we had James Richard Garoppolo at QB, right? So the linemen we drafted, it was primarily for run blocking. You know, because Kyle's going to run the ball a lot. He's going to limit what James Richard Garoppolo does because obviously the guy's throwing to LBs in practice and stuff, you know. And now he's got his shiny new toy, Brock Purdy. He's got his QB, the guy he trusts, which is a hard thing to get with Kyle, right? And now we drafted Pooney and Kingston and was it Nugent, the guy,
Nugent, yeah,
undrafted free agent center,
center from Michigan, yeah.
And then we signed Mays, who a lot of people are saying are center, a lot of people are saying he's a guard. I don't know yet. We'll see. But these guys are better pass blockers than run blockers. Then we drafted 2 wide receivers. So this kind of shows you what direction Kyle's going in, right?
Absolutely. Got David Corona in the house.
What's up, buddy? Lives in Corona, California. It's named after him.
There you go. It's a beautiful thing. Spongy asked if we want Bumberry, James Bradbury. No, man, we're pretty set at corner, bro. We got Mooney Ward is one of the best. Hyena, Delmar Lenore is coming up fast. And then obviously Renardo Green, I think is going to be a real stud. Press man, corner. So I think we're set at corner, bro. You can keep Bumberry for yourself in that big contract.
Well, you know, you ever wanted to hire a guy just to fire him? I mean,
I like that. The spite hire. It reminds me of something you would see on Curb Your Enthusiasm, the spite shop, Mocha Joe's and Larry's Lattes. Some great stuff. All right. So what about what else is going on in Niner News? Is that it?
Ayuk didn't show up for camp.
We knew that.
That's a surprise, right, folks?
No, not at all. I mean, at the very most, I thought he would show up and be on the sideline. So what's the difference? I mean, honestly, it's no difference. Just sends a little bit stronger message, though, of where he stands. But he wasn't going to practice whether he was there or not till he gets paid. Hell no. I wouldn't want him to.
That's how it is too. He's not going to show up. He's not going to practice until he gets paid. Do you remember back in the day when we were extending Fred Warner? You remember the off season?
Yeah.
He showed up to mandatory OTAs. He got paid in July, right?
Yep.
So, hint, hint, Brandon Ayuk. You want to get paid sooner? Show up to camp.
Interesting. Unless you get injured and then you don't get paid at all. That's the only monkey wrench in that scenario. But yeah.
Well, he'll show up and then they'll say, oh, he's jogging on the sideline, but at least he's there. It's just one of those things. It's more like a show of faith, right? And Ayuk, for the most part, has been healthy. I mean, he missed one game last year?
Yeah,
But,
and I don't even think he had to. I think it was more precautionary.
Yeah, exactly.
It was a game you went to. It was the home opener against the Giants.
It was a Giants game.
Thursday Night Football. I was still in the hospital with our new son, who was born that Monday.
So when it comes to injuries, he's not injury prone. I don't think there's a big risk there. You just show up to camp, make the fan base go, look at that. He showed up. It would be like everyone would go live at the same time. It'd be crazy.
James Renal says he's got some bad feelings after seeing Big Brock run all over Green Bay. Read option is going in the play box. Dude want that dude in a meat grinder. I guess he means Kyle wants him in a meat grinder.
That's Big Captain Brock because he's probably going to be a captain.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, Big Captain Brock. Yeah, I like that. That's good. I don't think people should be getting paid for not playing, but they should be getting 100% paid healthcare from the NFL. Yeah, they should for lifetime. But that's a lot of money.
I don't know how the CBA has that negotiated at this point, but you have to have so many years credited in the league, right?
10 or something crazy like that, right?
I thought it was 5.
Okay, 5. CBA. Still, that's double the average length of an NFL career. So
yeah, it is. It really is.
Yeah. So, interesting. What else? Still no training camp dates yet. I'm waiting eagerly to see those, to see if we're even in town for it or not. My wife's planned a few trips for us this summer. And so we might be in Tahoe or we might be in LA. We'll see. Some road trips. We're not doing much flying with the young child, so trying to stick with
everybody else will be
drivable.
There, no, I won't because obviously I don't live in California. But there's going to be a lot of other content creators there, and we'll hear the varying opinions on how guys did. This is what happens every year.
Those people were all there last year saying that Brock looked good. Brock looked good. And I'm like, no, bro, he did not look good. He was throwing pick sixes, incompletions. Every long ball was long or short, except for maybe one. He maybe threw one nice deep ball the whole training camp. And then, he got better in preseason. He got better at the early season. He got way better by mid and late season. So more power to him for really turning it around. But Brock was not good. Lance was better than Brock in camp. I will go to my grave saying that as the God honest truth. But Kyle had already decided how things were going to go. I mean, that wasn't even a competition. But honestly, it wasn't even a competition for QB2 because he just installed Darnold, who was trash in camp too. Not trash, but he I think he only won one day maybe of all of them. Brandon Allen didn't win any. Trey Lance won the most, and Trey Lance was like second best the most days too. Between me and this is all the content creators I was there with, sitting in that top row together. Everybody said the same thing to me in person, then they said different things when they got on their shows. So it's kind of interesting. But Kenny says correct. I'm not sure what that's to. It's probably a little bit old there. I'm a little slow. Sorry. Thoughts on any dark horse draft pick?
Honestly, like that Kingston guy, the offensive lineman.
Mm-hmm.
We picked him so late that he's probably going to be a practice squad guy, right?
Yep.
I think he's going to beat out Zakel. Because we have Feliciano in there at center. Speaking of, who's playing center right now? Is Brindle back from his arthritis or tendonitis or whatever?
I have no clue. I didn't even know he had tendonitis till I went live with Aaron earlier, and he mentioned it, and someone else in the chat, Aaron said he was injured, and someone in the chat said tendonitis. But that's the kind of thing.
I've seen reports that say arthritis or tendonitis, that they're not sure which one it is.
Oof. Yeah, neither is a good sign because they're both progressive and they both never really get better. So,
well, that's what happened to Western Richburg.
Yeah,
his injury, he was recovering, and then he developed arthritis in it. And
Javon Kinlaw too. All those
he's
cats.
Done, you know.
The same stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, Javon Kinlaw had to undergo surgery. You know, if Brindle undergoes surgery, by the time he makes it back half season, Kyle's going to tell him, well, your spot's taken by Feliciano. You know that's what Kyle does, right?
Yeah. No, Kenny, we're not sadistic enough to torture our fellow plane passengers with a 4-year-old and an 8-month-old on a plane. So yeah, we're keeping it to road trips this summer. I'm not a big fan of flying in general anyway, but Brock was playing with scrubs. If you meant in camp, no, he wasn't. He was playing against scrubs is what happened. And Ambry Thomas, who, come on, we see how high regard we hold him in. But that makes sense. Riley for transfer. All right. Anyway, enough of that. It's, you can make your jokes about all you want, but there was a reason to give me concern being at camp. I mean, I figured he'd get better. I figured it was UCL recovery, but the truth of the matter was he did not look good in training camp. And there was no guarantee that he was going to get back to what he was in 2022 or make a huge leap forward like he did.
Remember, he was on a pitch count too. Training camp was his rehab.
Yep. Got Daniel Berry Sports highlights in the hizzy. He is a Rams fan, but he's pretty cool. Make sure you check out his channel.
Make shorts for all sports. Go check him out.
There you go. Kenny was a Cowboys fan. I don't know where that's coming from, but foreign receivers probably didn't know what to do with a well-thrown ball. I mean, after Jimmy G, I get it, but Trey Lance threw a lot of nice passes in training camp. He was one of the few to really push the ball downfield too. So
now, Kenny, is this a direct shot at James Richard Garoppolo, buddy?
Sure
I think it is.
It is. Porn star Jimmy.
Man. Yeah, he's in LA.
Yeah. In the valley down there, just over the hill from LA is, at least he used to be the porn capital of the world. So he's right at home.
He's got to earn his job though. He's got to earn his roster spot. He's not just getting signed to be the starter like with the Raiders.
He's got to beat out drunk Purdy, Stetson Bennett, aka Rehab Boy. I don't think that he's going to have any trouble beating that cat out. I think that's a fait accompli, my friends. Book it, I would say. Jimmy Garoppolo is the backup for the Rams. Absolutely.
Well, I know a fella that is worried about him starting for the Rams and then beating us. And I'm straight telling him, please start him instead of Stafford. Because, Fred Warner, he's going to like that, right? And our defense, right? He's not going to throw it outside the numbers. He's going to throw those crossing routes, 10 to 15 yards downfield. Our defense is going to eat that alive. So I would be down if they wanted to start James against us. That would be awesome.
Oh, only if Stafford's injured. There's no way he's going to beat out Stafford. Kenny says, don't forget Brock himself said, and Kyle, that practice is the time to make those mistakes. Absolutely. But if we see those mistakes again this training camp, people aren't going to be saying that. People will be freaking the F out because they're going to be like, oh, wait, he's not recovering from his UCL. This time he had a full off season. And now we're seeing the same stuff. People will lose their minds. I guarantee you. So, and I don't think we will see it. I think Purdy has improved drastically, physically and mentally from where he was in camp last year. And I'd be shocked.
And, talk about how long it takes to get actually over something like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
He was playing during the season, but was his arm at full strength?
No, he said so. At least till the Cowboys game, maybe further. He said it to Steve Young.
And this season, he's starting out at full strength. I'm just hoping that we're able to keep him upright, man. Because Kyle, 7 seasons with the guy. We've had 2 seasons with the upright starting quarterback.
Yeah, and
that's it.
We still won't invest in O-line, but hey, at least I guess we did. We won't invest in tackle. But maybe McKivitz will show us right. And like I said, the best friend of any tackle is, Feliciano or Pooney on the left and Logan Thomas or Kittle on the right. It's a lot of beef. It'll help make your job a lot easier when you're blocking in a phone booth compared to like a wide open edge. So like you said, speed rushers are going to have a lot more difficulty getting around now that we got somebody to flank out there outside of McKivitz. Cam Sutton from Detroit. Cam Sutton was in Pittsburgh before he went to Detroit. So he's just back to the Steelers. You said re-sign. So I think, that's what Kenny understood that when he said that. But he's a decent corner. He's sort of like a solid B-, C+, C, maybe C.
Yeah, I wouldn't say he's pretty good, but he's good.
Yeah, he's kind of maybe NFL average or slightly below. He's definitely not outstanding, and he's definitely not bad. He also, I think, plays pretty well in run fit, if I recall correctly. So that's always something that Niners look for in their corners. What else, my friend? Anything else? Burning desires?
At this point, it's the waiting game for Ayuk. I mean, right now we got crickets going.
Oh, well, that's something that happened.
Right.
The Justin Jefferson, 4 years, $140 million, $35 million a year. What do you think Ayuk is at this point? Like, what do you think he's worth, and what do you think the Niners?
I'm still at the $26 to $28 million range because of his alkaline.
Me too. Yeah, I was 24 to 26, and with Amon-Ra and AJ Brown and all these guys getting these big deals, and now JJ, because Amon-Ra was 30. I want to say AJ Brown was like 31. Now Justin Jefferson, the other JJ, of course, our Juwan Jennings is the JJ. He's the other JJ.
Well, keep in mind, these guys that are signing are the number 1 target on their team.
Yeah, and they're
like the number 1 option, number 1 read. Ayuk has admitted that he's the 4th option.
Yeah,
so
he's
it's
not number 1, and he's definitely not top 5 in the NFL. So I don't think he should be in that range. I'm with you, but it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. Where's your walk away number? Like, if he asks for 30, are you saying let him walk at that point, David? Or
if he asks for 30, then it's time to trade him.
Okay, yeah, fair. I don't know where my number is, but yeah, it's not much north of 28. I'd say 29, 30, somewhere in there is where I start to just say, there's another team who'll pay that, and they'll use you like that. And go prove you can do it, because you have not proven it here. We cannot pay you like you've proven it if you haven't proven it. And that's it. It just comes down to that. It's just, I'm confident that Ayuk can do it. Honestly, I think he's got it in him, but not confident enough to spend $30 million a year for many years. No, not when you got CMC and Kittle and Debo and Ayuk and now Persall. And no, Persall hasn't proven anything, but I'm bullish on Persall. I really do think he will flourish in the system. I think he'll be Trent Taylor on steroids. I think he'll be the faster, more athletic, better hands, bigger. Is he maybe a little bigger than Trent Taylor? But definitely all those other things. Better route runner, way faster. I mean, just miles faster than Trent Taylor. So Kenny's giving us a thumbs up. Reminds me of Tart. Oh,
Okay, so Cameron Latu, apparently the reason that why we put him on injured reserve last year and he couldn't come back is because he really couldn't come back. That I'm reading a couple different things that says that he's poised to return. So that injury he had must have been pretty bad.
yeah. Well, his camp was pretty bad. I mean, like he was the drop 2. He couldn't catch a cold in camp. So I know he caught some in preseason, but it was kind of too little too late for me. Maybe he can turn it around. I hope so. It'd be really nice to have him, Kittle, Logan Thomas, and P-Line as 4 tight ends. I'd love to keep those 4. But we'll see. Justin Jefferson and CeeDee Lamb have almost identical stats. Yeah, but I'd say that Kirk Cousins is a better QB than Dak Prescott, in my opinion. I'm not a big Dak fan.
Why aren't these guys specific on what the injury was? It just says a procedure to his knee is all it says.
And also, Justin Jefferson has like more guys to share the load with. He had Thielen there for a while, and then they had Hawkinson. And I just don't feel like any of the Cowboys guys really are of that ilk. I mean, I guess they had Dalton Schultz, caught a lot of TDs, but I don't think he's in the same category as Thielen and now Jordan Addison and Hawkinson. So, yeah, CeeDee Lamb just gets fed. But I guess that does mean value. If you got no one to help you and you're still racking up the numbers, they can't stop you. Drop 2, yeah, that was it. All right, yeah, have a good night. It's already midnight over there across the pond, so no worries, James. Turn in. And don't throw any punch bowls or cheese bowls. Something he threw during the drunken rage during the Super Bowl. It's a cheese fountain or a punch bowl. And they found it in the neighbor's yard or something, or in the tree somewhere. Water in the knee drain. Was that that must be Brendel, huh? Oh, was that Latu?
I was watching the Super Bowl. I was like, we need to like pull away here. Pull away and then
get some cushion.
I think didn't we talk about like the third quarter after halftime at some point? Or you probably heard me talk about it. I probably heard you talk about it at some point. But when we came out offensively, passed the ball a bunch, 3 and out. And it's like, you have the offensive player of the year right here. He's a running back, But that was the same thing that happened in the 2019 Super Bowl. We came out in the second half, and he had James Richard Garoppolo trying to pass the ball all over the place. And we're talking passing against 2 of the best corners in the league.
McDuffie and L'Jarius Sneed, that's right.
Yeah, McDuffie was a first-team All-Pro.
Yeah, he was great.
So these guys they're no slouches. So at that point, you come out after halftime, run the ball, make them play, make them respect it, and play us. What is that? So they can't cheat. So they can't bring up. So they bring up 8 guys to the box. All right, now there's 8 guys in the box. Let's burn them. But at this point, it's too late.
The injury to Feliciano was huge, and bringing in Burford at guard, and he just got abused. So
the injury to Greenlaw and Feliciano,
both of those injuries were massive, huge blows to us, no doubt.
But at this point, it's just it happened. We can't change it.
Bebop,
it's just time to move on.
Got Bebop Jones in the house.
Got Bebop, what's good, buddy?
Jason Captain Niner Smash Massey. Talofa Faithful, it's Hello Faithful and Samoan. James Donald confirming it was a cheese fountain. He said it's still in the tree. F that cheese fountain. Love it.
Where's Cameron 2 from?
UCLA or Alabama, both. I think he started at
I think he
UCLA.
went to. Oh my
I think he
gosh!
started as a DN at UCLA and went to Bama to play tight end, if I'm not mistaken. And his brother, I think, was the or relative. There was a Latu. Wasn't there a Latu who was like the top edge player in the draft this year out of UCLA?
Yes, he was. He was one of the top guys.
Yeah. So
he was born in Minnesota. That's exactly. I recognized his high school because my daughter was in sports.
mm-hmm.
And I had to travel all over the place to watch her games, and they played this team. That's why when I looked at his high school, like, hold on a second. I know that place. So he lived in Utah for a while, down in the Salt Lake area.
Interesting.
His high school is Olympus. It's in Holiday, Utah. And my daughter's the high school she went to, softball wise, they played them. That's why I was looking at that like, hold on a second. Where's he from?
Interesting. We got the Utah connection by way of McNiner. Love it. Anything else going on that's tickling your fancy? What you want to get off your chest?
Not really. I mean, it's just OTAs, mandatory camp, just kicking back, waiting for reports. But the reports vary. I'm not actually there, so what can you do, right?
Well, I will always tell it like I see it, even if it comes back to bite me. Same bad things about Purdy certainly did last year. I don't think I've ever recovered since then on Twitter or YouTube, but F it. I'm still going to, call it like I see it. That's just the way I am.
Yep.
Consequences be damned. I'm just not a good liar, so makes it easy to tell the truth. But anyway, well, let's. You got anything coming up this week you want to promote, David?
Well, here in about less than 3 hours, we're doing the, Corey Davis 49er Wednesday.
Yeah.
So of course we're gonna, have a big panel on and talk about whatever 49ers is going on, like you and I just did. And
cool.
Then I'm trying to get through a 500 question trivia book. So we really got to get on that,
Wow, it's a lot. All right. Well, good luck. Enjoy. And I will see you in 1 week at 3:20 p.m. Pacific, 6:20 p.m. Eastern, next hump day. And thanks to everybody who showed up. We appreciate all your interaction and support. It means a lot. Make sure you like and subscribe to me and like and subscribe to the David McNiner channel on YouTube. And and also please check out Teddy Talks Bikes. Give me a like and subscribe. It really helped me to get that early momentum going. And otherwise, I'll just say peace and go Niners.
Go Niners, F all 31 other teams.